This is Andy Peroff, Boxing Social, and for the first time this week, I'm joined by trainer Dave Coldwell. Dave, I know your charge Hope Price is on this card, but just to start off with the heavyweights, unexpected weights with regards to Ruiz. Let's start off with him coming in a stone heavier than what he did in the first fight against Anthony Joshua.
Do you know what? Ruiz was big before, and he's been big all the way through his career. I think he's been as high as 21 stone before in his career. It's the kind of guy he is. He doesn't really pay much attention to his weight. I've thought from the start, from when we watched the workout as well, it just confirmed what I thought. But from the start of this talk about a rematch, I've thought he's going to look to go quick from the start. Not even let Anthony Joshua get a glimpse of hope, an ounce of confidence. He's going to think it's an immediate rematch. I destroyed you in the first fight, and I'm just going to go straight at you to put those demons straight into your head. And I think, is it a conscious decision to put more weight on? Maybe. Or has he just done what he normally does? And I think he still looked, at the workout, he still looked in better condition. It didn't look as I know it sounds silly because he's lighter, but it didn't seem as much jelly on him that's wriggling about, wobbling about like he did in the first fight. I thought he looked more compact. So he's heavier. Maybe he's got a bit more muscle to him. Or he may just have a few more Snickers in him. And it's hard to say because he's only had a top on. We haven't seen him without his top on. It's a bit hard to say. But just from what I saw at the workout and how he did look in better shape, he looked fast. But how long can he keep it going for? At 20 stone, after a few rounds, you're going to start chugging. Joshua's got to negate those early rounds, and he's got to put some doubt in him. He's got to take the sting out of him. I don't believe that Joshua can run. I believe he has to step round, angle, step round, keep Ruiz moving, keep him having to lug that weight around with him, and keep banging with the jab and bringing him right hands in. He's got to put some respect on him. He's got to nail him he's got to nail him quite early or every so often with some hard shots to keep him off with the jab. He can keep behind the jab, keep stepping, keep making him fall short. All Ruiz has got to do is keep missing, and he's going to get tired pretty quick.
AJ coming in underneath 17 stone and obviously Ruiz over 20. Is that kind of indicated to what you've maybe suggested there? AJ needs to obviously look to box, stick behind his jab, but at least for those first few rounds, because Ruiz will come in looking for something fast and quick to kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word in here, effectively get the win early on against AJ. Do you think that's Ruiz's tactic employ there?
I think Ruiz, because of the reaction of Joshua to Ruiz's punches last time, I think Ruiz thinks that all he has to do is to go in there, whether it's to the body or the head, he's going to get some effect from AJ, and I think he's just going to go out there and look to smash him up as soon as possible. I think he's coming out fast, but in an intelligent sort of manner. He'll come in nice and tight behind his jab, but I think he expects it to be done quicker than last time, and I think he's fit enough to do it quicker than last time. And that may be part of why he's heavier. It may be because, we've seen it with fighters before. We've seen, Gerald McClellan used to train for 3 rounds, really, because he used to think he could blast everybody out. And when it starts going a few more rounds after, that's when they start worrying. That's when they start blowing. It's all about whether Anthony Joshua can get through those first few rounds. It's all about whether he can control the distance. I've said from the start, he's got to control the distance. If he controls the distance, then he can get Ruiz tired up quicker, I think. If the weight's going to start slowing him down.
I think AJ is going to cope with a psychological aspect of when he's in there with Ruiz and Ruiz lands that first punch. Do you think AJ is going to be thinking back to New York, is going to be having doubts run through his mind?
This is why I think Ruiz is going to go for a quick start to put his mind back to where he was and where he thinks, oh shit, it's happening again. But this is where Joshua needs to take command early doors. He needs to start landing that jab, just touching him, sticking his head back with a sharp jab, and then looking to whip in a couple of good shots, couple of power shots every so often. He needs to get some respect straight away. But if he can get Ruiz missing and get Ruiz reaching, listen, Joshua's about 6'6", right? Ruiz is small. He's small. When he got out of the ring after the workout, and I'm stood quite next to him, I'm looking at him, thinking, you're small. Yeah, is it? For me to think that, but I'm thinking, you're small for an heavyweight. AJ's just got to use his size, use his reach, get him reaching, get him falling short. We saw in the first fight, Ruiz missed quite a lot. If he can get him missing and then touching him back, being shot, I expect AJ to be faster than what it was last time. And I expect him to be able to keep up his energy levels because he's not carrying as much bulk. So if he can get into a rhythm early doors and take that confidence away from Ruiz, that could be quite key to the fight.
On the back of today now, just how much more intriguing has this fight become for yourself, Dave?
Yeah, it has. Because you don't know. Because we're all sat here guessing, why is Ruiz coming out? Listen, Barry Hearn said something today, and there are mind games in boxing. Ruiz could have just gone and downed a couple of bottles of water, and I don't mean little bottles. I mean you can just start banging water and put on a couple of pounds. Do you know what I mean? You don't know. You don't know what he says. He just went for a steak. He had a bit of lunch. He was hungry, so he had a bit of lunch before he got weighed. Could have had a big lunch. Could have had a big breakfast and a lunch. I don't know. But I still say, I mean, it's hard to say because I haven't seen him get his top off. But I still say that he looked in better condition. I thought he looked tighter around the middle when he was on the pads with Manny Robles. So it could be muscle. It could be muscle weighs heavier than fat. It could be a little bit of muscle, or it could be Snickers, like I said. And it's just one of those things because you've got such a big swing in the weights. But when AJ was heavier last time and Ruiz was lighter last time, AJ couldn't take Ruiz's power anyway. So what difference does it make? The same thing will happen is if AJ allows Ruiz to get on top of him, whack away to his body or whack away to his head, he's going to get knocked out. Same as what he did last time, regardless of whether AJ is weighing lighter and Ruiz is weighing heavier, because it happened last time. So AJ's just got to make sure that he's smart enough this time to negate what Ruiz is doing and to be able to implement what he needs to do to win the fight.
Moving on to your charge, Hopey Price. How have you been impressed with how he's handled the week? A big fight week, one of the biggest cards not only of the year, but many have said for these past couple of decades. How has he looked throughout the week?
Fantastic. His attitude's great. He's just so relaxed. Honestly, he's generally got... I remember, I've just said to Hopey's dad, actually, I remember when I used to work with Haymaker and myself and Adam Booth in the change rooms with George Groves. I think it was before the DeGale fight. It was the biggest fight of his life. And George was the coolest kid I've ever seen in the change rooms before a fight. And I mean, out of everybody I've ever dealt with, you wouldn't think you were fighting. And he was walking around the change rooms, and I think Adam said to him, "You all right?" And George just looked at him and went, "Are you all right? You look more nervous." We look more nervous than George Groves. Hope he reminds me of that because there's absolutely no nerves for him. Before his debut, he was like that. That was his debut, boxing live on, boxing on Sky Sports on a Sky Sports show. First fight on the Matchroom. He has no nerves, and this week it's just been cool as a cucumber. The public workout, we had a laugh. A lot of people there, a lot of cameras there. The press conference, I thought he handled really well because his first one he bottled, and then this one there's hundreds of cameras there, and he spoke really well. And then today he's just soaked that up, and he's really enjoyed it, and he's been calm and cool. So I'm really impressed with him.
The mention on stage is obviously a live float. How much has he been praying that he does get a chance tomorrow night?
Not just him, me as well. I've got voodoo dolls for all them other heavyweights. I'm sticking out. I need them all to go early. Obviously, it'd be amazing if he gets on. But there is that chance that he might not get on. That's a live float. We understand that. Spoke to him about that. He understands it, and he's very matter of fact about it. He's cool. It'd be great to get on. But He understands. He's not going to sulk and spit his dummy out if he don't get on, because he's had an opportunity, and this, without a fight at the end of it, this has still been an invaluable experience for the kid. You know, we've just been there. I said to him, can you believe we're at a weigh-in for a heavyweight title fight, a massive heavyweight title fight in Saudi? And he was like, I know, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. You know, what an experience.
The final word before I do let you shoot off, because I know I collared you just as you'd sat down. Your old charge, Derek Chisora, has been floating about. Any conversations with him as of yet?
Yeah, I spoke to him already. As soon as I saw him, how you doing, mate? You all right? That's it. Just, and then we just spoke a little bit about after the weigh-in. That's it.
Well, Dave, I won't go into that too much because obviously don't need to. We are here for Hopi and we're here for Ruiz Joshua too. I appreciate you giving up your time once again. So I know, like I said, you did an hour or so with my colleague yesterday, Rob Tebbert. So appreciate your time once again. Thanks for speaking to myself and Boxing Social. Catch up with you tomorrow.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Nice one. Cheers, Dave.